Hi everyone. Thanks. Don't be afraid. It won't be a sales pitch. Yeah, we just have like a short conversation. So again, my name is Dmytro, and I'm happy to be here. Happy to greet everyone at such a nice conference about nice discussions. So let's be honest. Like today, we are at the AI conference talking about the technology, the algorithms, the accuracy, and everything that are connected to that. But before I talked to dozen number of pharmacovigilance specialists, like industry leaders, and what I noticed that AI projects don't fail because of technology. Uh, Typically, it fails because we don't know how to buy change. I mean, like how to buy an implementation of other things. And today, I just want to be clear with the presentation. I want to talk about the reality, how to navigate through this like mess and don't lose your mind or even your compliance. So before we dive in, I just want to get acknowledge who you are, because in many companies, pharmacovigilance department are treated like the department of no, right? Like you are blockers, you are the only one who said it's too risky and so on. But to be honest, I see you totally differently. So you are the guardians, right? So every single day you take the big weight of and carry that weight of patient safety on your shoulders. But also here is the thing. So in 2026, being a guardian doesn't mean just standing still and protecting some old ways to do things. Yeah, because you need to lead the change. That is like a very important message, because if you don't lead the change, the waste amount of data, like the, let's say, the storm of data, will just wash us away. So um, let's go next. Here's like a small, I would say, very small filter for this room. If you are looking for such kind of a magic button, right, with AI that you can plug in and start working, and suddenly all your ACSRs will be processed over the night. Uh, I don't believe it's existed, and I don't believe it will be exist in the near future. So maybe the like coffee machines that outside are working more reliably. So that's not reality. Let's try another things. So we're not talking about such kind of things that will be working perfectly and would be kind of magic. So here, because the presentation of Reynold told him before, like before the lunch, you saw how many work you done before it was implemented. So I'm talking to that people who really understand that implementation, that the changes are really messy, are uncomfortable. That's a lot of work, but you are able, you want to lead your team through that implementation. So that's about sport. I'm not hunting, nothing like. But when I'm not running a company, I do the practical shooting. It's a competition, so I compete in practical shooting, and it's a very, I would say, specific environment. So at the competition, you got exactly 3 minutes to build a strategy. 3 minutes. Around you, there are 7 other shooters. You got like not enough information. The targets are hidden. It's noisy. The clock is ticking, and you need to decide. You need to build a game plan. So does it sound familiar for you? Because it looks like right now you are choosing like AI solution in like noisy environment, a lot of vendors. You are trying to decide something. You don't have enough information, but you need to move on before you 100% sure. And that is really like a complex situation. But again, in this situation right now, so all instincts can not work every time perfect. Why? Uh, in the shooting, we say that when the environment changes, you all instinct can fail, and that means that you can be a super good professional, like a world-class professional, but when you apply a 2010 logic to a 2026 technology, so you're not just being careful, so you just being slow. And right now, it is not just, again, being careful, it's just a new risk for your company and for the market. So for real, like, let's talk about the big elephant in the room, I would say. Why we typically do not buy AI still, if there is somebody who don't buy AI. Why I'm asking this, because last week, I believe, it was a conference from ISOP in Basel. My partner and head of pharmacovigilance and product owner, Artem, was there. Again, 2 days of the AI about pharmacovigilance. There were like different talks, and Artem, like my colleague, after the conference, asked one person, so do you use AI in your department? And he said, not really, but this is, again, conference about the AI, right? So he asked, like, why? So he answered, I just don't know, I don't rely on it, I don't believe it, and so on. But I don't deny my pharmacovigilance specialist to use it. So my brother asked, but do you encourage to use it, or do you discourage to use it? And so he answered, I discourage, because I don't believe. So there is still some people that really discourage to use it. And why? Because that's not that we don't like AI, because we are super afraid of accountability, right? We always ask questions ourselves. So what if the model is wrong and the result is bad? What if auditor come and ask me a question and I don't know the answer? So what if the vendor left me with a broken system? What I will do? So typically it's, as you see, not a technical question, it's just emotional one. And we need to face it, we need to recognize it, and then we can move forward and do something with that situation to come to the next things that are like great paradox in PV, I would say, or the hidden paradox of PV. Because typically we are super good at recognizing visible risks, right? We are from the pharmacovigilance. But it's not always a visible risk, because you have two ways, and one is visible risk of a model that are giving you the wrong output. At the second, it's also a risk like standing still and doing nothing, because it's not a zero risk. It's like a decision not to move forward. It's a decision to keep your process manual, and that means that your system just won't scale and you can process data at scale. So that could be even the bigger risk. So that's why, again, go back to the shooting. We always say it with my trainer that amateurs talk about the gear and the professionals talk about the strategy. I see many companies buying multi-million AI, and that doesn't bring some kind of return on investment. That doesn't bring some kind of success. Because if you buy a $1 million rifle, it won't let you be like a champion. Because if you don't know how to shoot, how to breathe, it won't make you champion. You need to do what you will do with the tools. So the decision and the result of that you need to buy a strategy. You don't need to buy a tool. You need to buy a game plan, but not a tool. And yeah, every new strategy, this is a change, and every change is painful, but you have no option, right? You just need to choose your poison, let's say. So you can choose a short pain, a short injection of implementation of change. Yeah, it will be painful, but it will be short time, and then it could be led by the patience. It could be led by the peace and control. Or you choose the other way, when you choose a long pain. So you don't do you do nothing, you just stay still, and then you will be in years of AI pilots that never go live. You will be with budgets that are just burning with that, with different demos that are not working, and so on. So you just need to compare, because personally for me, I would take a vaccine. I would take a short pain, I will face it, this pain, and then just move on into the future. So that really means a lot. This is a real example from the mRNA technology, right? So you probably know that it was existed for 30 years before the COVID-19. But who was the winners when the COVID-19 happened, right? The companies who were encouraged enough to stop studying because it was like a risky technology, right? And start deciding. So they were encouraged enough to start building this technology, to start using this technology, and they were winners in that situation. So I think that right now, like again, 2026, like last year, next year's, is the exact mRNA moment for the pharmacovigilance. The technology is here, everything is here. Just a question: would you decide to do it right now, or you will be forced to do it like in the next years? So you have like, two options. And I will give you like again two scenarios. The first one, you implement AI, something goes wrong, you got like the bad output, but you got the SOPs, you got the validation, you got the rollback plan, let's say, you got the business continuity, you got everything. And when the inspector comes, ask you a question, you show everything, and yeah, this is an incident, but still you got documentation. And the second situation, risk of standing still, doing nothing. So you continue with the manual process, you miss a signal, then the inspector come and you don't have an answer, right? Because you never make a decision. Because uh, when the large language model, when the AI, any technology is broken, it's an incident, but the systematic inability not to process data at scale is your liability, right? So that's much bigger risks. This is exact case with pharmaceutical company like service provider from Spain, from Barcelona. I don't think there is any from Asphalion here, but maybe you know them. That's like again our clients. So we did implement such kind of technology with AI with them, exactly with literature monitoring, with screening, and so we achieve more than 94% faster article screening with them. They were also afraid, but they decide to move forward and they gain a lot of efficiency. And now they are super happy with some kind of results. I will not like stop on this like case, but this was multiple products in 28 countries with multiple market authorization holders, and it was like super successful. Let's go back to the shooting because that's my topic. So as my trainer or as every trainer, I don't want to train bad shooters. As a CEO at this company, so I want you to win because when you win the audit, when you like increase the safety profile of your drugs, of your medicines, I win. So that's my personal achievement because I'm a achiever. I want you to win. That's why you don't need to buy just again a tools, just AI. You, if you are ready for the results, then buy. If you don't ready for the good results, if you don't ready for the success, and if you don't ready for the, let's say, uncomfortable moving through that implementation, it won't be good for you. You must be ready and you must let your team go through that uncomfortable changes, but then followed with peace and control. And when I shoot, I don't like start shooting better or more accurate just thinking about it or just talking about it. I get better by actually shooting. The same again with pharmacovigilance and AI. So the teams who win, that not teams with the biggest budget and the teams who are writing a specification for months and trying to achieve like the best possible solution AI and so on. The teams who win, that again, like as Reynolds, sorry, I'm again reference to you, said, that do iterate, that do small steps, that test things, go back, give feedback, own results. So go by step, make a small steps, but still you are moving. So don't wait too much. You just need to make a decisions and you need to start doing that. But what is the ammo for such kind of change? So what you should use it? We prepare some kind of ammo kits because for different people it could be a different thing. So you can scan that QR code and you will receive like the exact guide how to talk to your bosses. Because typically someone need logic, someone need emotions, someone need safety data, someone need business case. So every kind of person is different, right? So and you need to find your perfect like ammo for each person, for each manager, how to communicate with them or with him to get the projects approved. Because typically it's also a problem for us to get the projects with AI approved. So you will be sent by the presentation, you can download it, and you have the exact guide how to do that. Yeah, thank you so much for such experience. If you have any questions, would be super happy to answer. Thanks.
Can go forward with questions. Yeah. It's so important. So it's so important. I think just to remember to recall that the technology in and of itself does not equal the transformation. And so I think it's something that's been alluded to and implied, but just speaking to the criticality of business transformation and understanding again, like when you implement a new technology, that there's that need to really reimagine your process and like retrofitting your existing process into this new technology. Because to your point, you can have this most sophisticated technology, but if you don't have a revised way of working and people aren't eh, feeling empowered and excited to embrace the change, then I think it's a missed opportunity for sure. So in order to sort of really facilitate that ROI, it's getting people like bringing them along on the journey, the change management component. So really considering not just the technology, but also that business transformation and those requirements, I think is really, really essential.
Absolutely. I believe there's more comments than the question, right? Yeah. Thanks for comment. It's really true because even in the January 2026, we had kind of brainstorm and strategic session about how we're positioning ourselves in the market, and we understand that everybody is going to technology and AI and trying to find something like specific to sell to the industry. But then we realize that everybody is doing that, so we move not to the technology because we have like good enough technology. We move to the people and trying to encourage them to make changes because that is the real thing. If we don't start with ourselves, then we can't move industry forward. So that's why we want to focus on people. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much.